Yo, we're live. Let me I didn't even get Toast or Andy in here yet. So let me get them in. Just give me 1 minute. Hope everyone had a great Friday night. I finished in the excuse me. I finished in the red in NBA last night. Why? Because the Raptors lost by the hook. And I gave it out Toronto +5 on YouTube. But then by the time I posted the ticket, it moved to 4.5 on all sportsbooks. So, of course, I had to take a loss on that one. All right, let's get this shared to Toasted Andy. Get them in here. All right, sent. So they'll be in here any minute. Let me just make sure we're up and running live. Yep. Yo, what's up, guys? Yeah, they're coming in any second. This one's on me. I was running a little late, and I didn't realize that we're doing 18 games, and I didn't have templates set up for 18. So I had to make 4 new templates real quick. So that's why I was just a couple minutes behind. But we're good. They should be joining any second. I'm sure they're just sitting on their computer waiting for the link. So now that I sent it to them, I'm sure they're about to pop right up. No, not a rough morning. No, I'm good. Just running late is all. I wouldn't say rough morning, just running a little late. Here we are. They both came right in. All right. All right, so here is Andy, who thinks he's the man now because he went 7-2. And here is the Toast Man himself. Hey, one of you guys I can hear my own voice on your mic. So can you turn me down?
It's mine. It's fine.
All right. Well, it's gone now. So, all right. Good morning, guys. I have to do. I'm going to do the pie charts as we're going, because if you can see, it says Penn State, Michigan State in the bottom left. So first game, North Carolina at Clemson, and this line was on the move because it's up to 3.5 now. Pretty sure Toast gave out Clemson -1 in the Discord yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. No, I did. I thought someone did. Maybe it wasn't you.
No.
North Carolina +3.5. Clemson -3.5. Over 158.5. Under 158.5. All right. Which one of you guys would like to go first?
I'll go. Mine's pretty simple for me. I'm on North Carolina here. I will say it looks like depending on who you ask, it seems like there's a lot of people on North Carolina today. There might have been a little bit of reverse movement on Clemson. For me, I don't really care. For one thing that I know is that Clemson struggles with ball-dominant point guards. That's exactly what they're going to see today with R.J. Davis and company with the Tar Heels. 350 in defensive turnover rate, so they're not turning the ball over, not turning people over. I think that's going to give R.J. Davis a lot of space to work, and guys like Baycott. I truly think that even with Caleb Love gone, I think this North Carolina team is a lot better than people think. So the Elliot Cardo kid, or however you say his name, kind of turns it over a lot. It's just not a lot for me. I just don't see Clemson as 3.5 points better, even with them Waffle loss. And I mean, North Carolina has only played a couple games on the road. It's nothing crazy, but I just thought 3.5 was too many. I also played North Carolina on the money line just because I just didn't feel like that was. It's just too many points and too good of a number on the money line when you have not only Ken Palm, Evan Maya, shot quality. Every single model likes North Carolina by at least 1. So I'll take my chances getting 3.5.
Andy?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I was surprised when I saw this line keep going up. I was on Clemson at 1, 3.5. I have to be on UNC. UNC is probably the better team. I know it's on the road, but I'm not respecting Clemson that much. They did beat a couple of good teams throughout their non-conference schedule, but I'm still questioning some of the teams they beat if they're very good. So I don't know how good Clemson actually is. I know UNC's good. I really didn't see this. I think the problem with UNC is they've been getting out-rebounded, which is insane. They should never get out-rebounded with Armando Baycott, but that's not a problem with Clemson. They're not a crazy rebounding team. So I really expect UNC at this number, I don't know if they win the game, but they're going to keep it within 1 or 2. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I'll put UNC up for me then. Screw it. I mean, I didn't really look at anything / I don't know college basketball that well. I haven't been following it that much this year.
I've been betting Clemson a lot, so I mean, I can see where you would see that because I talk about them a lot. So yeah, I actually had a pretty decent sized bet on them when they played Miami and they lost. They got throttled, so
They did get
that has nothing reason but that. Yeah.
Our poll's heavy on North Carolina too, so everyone likes the Tar Heels here. So serious reverse line movement. 74% of you said you would take the 3.5 with UNC. 16% said you would lay the 3.5 with Clemson. Next game, and you have to apologize. These games are out of order, so I think this one is 12:30. Kentucky, Florida. But some of them are at crazy order because Andy was drunk at the wheel making these graphics.
Yeah.
So we got Kentucky. This is another one that was moving. This one's at 3.5 now too.
Also, in a day where there's 150 games or whatever, it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, the order was weird.
It's just, I mean,
I think I did it the way that Ken Palm had it listed. Honestly, so we
That's
might
how
be
I
having
sent it.
Yeah,
The
it
game.
might be
Yeah,
like
but then when
9
you did the
o'clock.
pick graphics for the thing, you
Yeah.
put them in the right order. So it was like all messed up. All right, Kentucky at Florida. Andy, why don't you go first on this one?
Yeah, I'll start with this one. This is my favorite bet of the day. Kentucky plus 3.5. I think they win the game by a couple points too. I don't get it with Florida. They are a team made with transfers who have juiced their stats against bad teams. Their leading scorer, Walter Clayton. This is his shooting against Power 6 teams this year. They played Michigan. He shot 5 of 18. Played Wake Forest, 3 of 11. Baylor, 3 of 12. UVA, 3 of 11. He is not a good shooter. He's their leading scorer, not a good shooter against Power 6 teams. I think Florida is going to be a bottom half SEC team this year. I know the game's at home, but am I afraid of John Calipari losing a road game? Absolutely not. I think they win the game outright. I couldn't believe when I saw this line continue to go up. Kentucky is a far more talented team, far better team than them. I know they lost to UNC Wilmington, and a lot of people have been off of them since then. They are a far better team than Florida. This Florida team is not that good. They went to double overtime with Michigan. We were just talking about how bad Michigan is this year. So I am completely off of Florida.
Favorite bet of the day, he says. Toast,
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I would play alt line with Kentucky. I would lay 3.5 with them. No question about it. There's no question about it. You're giving me John Calipari versus Todd, Mr. Average Golden. It's just a really simple one for me. That's literally all my notes was. Cal versus Golden, alt line underneath. That's all I needed to know.
Yeah. Well, no. I don't know enough about the teams to argue with you guys. I'm just wondering how you're both so confident going against line movement here. Wasn't this at 1?
Yeah, it opened at half a point. I don't get it. Florida is.
I don't care. That's the thing for me. Like these lines, especially in college basketball, they get steamed up and they're wrong all the time. I mean, we see it in many different sports. This isn't the first time, so I really don't care. Does Florida have a good experienced basketball team? Yes, they do. But if you're going to, when has Florida, besides last year against Tennessee, ever beaten somebody that they were not supposed to beat? Ever in the Todd Golden era? Ever? They don't. So I'll take my chances.
They're made up of transfers who have never played in the SEC before, and now they're playing SEC. Like they're made up of small town transfers. Like they're not.
If you're Kentucky, if you're betting Kentucky, you are against Kentucky. You can say this is their only second true road game, and their first true road game was Louisville, and they're terrible. But I really don't care.
It's just terrible. I mean, I put Kentucky up for me. I'm telling you guys, it's just not only did you guys both say Kentucky, you both love Kentucky. The poll is heavy on Kentucky, but the line moved the other way. That's kind of terrifying. So anyway, 76% of our viewers said they would take the 3.5 with Kentucky. Just 21% said they would lay the 3.5 with Florida. Next. All right, next up is Iowa State at Oklahoma. And this line is at an even 3. Either you guys have a bet in this one?
Yeah. I have I'm on Oklahoma in this one. These teams are both awful around the rim, so on defense, they're awful around the rim. They're going to score at the rim a lot, not a lot of three-point shooting in this game. I think Oklahoma just dominates them in this one. Home team, pretty much everything. Big 12 home teams, they crush, man. And this -3, lower number, not really impressed with Iowa State yet. Oklahoma, solid team. I think I saw them play against North Carolina, and I really like them. Pretty much since then, I've liked them. I like this Oklahoma team.
Well, let me find the graphics because Andy put them in wild order here.
Next week we will have a much more.
Yeah, it'll be more.
Yeah.
So there it is. Oklahoma -3. Toast, you fading them or agree with them?
I'm fading him. I'm taking I took Iowa State plus 3.5. Strength of schedule has been a pretty big question mark for both these teams. Neither one of them has played really anybody. But I just don't. I'm not there with Porter Moser in this Oklahoma team yet. I know that they've won a lot of bad games this season, but I still think that Iowa State is just as good. So I took the 3.5 as well. But yeah, I guess we'll see what it is. The model really likes Iowa State as well. So that's what kind of made my decision for me.
The model likes Iowa State. Let me hold on. Let me look at something real quick, and then I'm going to decide which one of you to back. Definitely Iowa State. I'm definitely on Iowa State. It looks like reverse line movement, and like I said, I'm going to keep reiterating this. I haven't dove too deep into college basketball, so these guys disagree. Looks like the consensus line has dropped to 2.5 on most books now. So the line movement says Iowa State. I'm siding with Toast and taking Iowa State. 1 second when I get there.
You're almost there.
There we go.
I just think that people are giving like Oklahoma a little bit more credit than they should about some of the teams that they've beat. Like they beat Arkansas. Arkansas wasn't like 100% like full strength. USC was a high-ranked team to start the year, but now we know that they're just dog shit. Same thing with Iowa. Providence they beat. I guess that's a decent win. But I mean, yeah, it's just really hard for me to get behind them. That's all.
Yeah, I get it.
Scoop says Iowa State in the comments as well. So Andy is on an Oklahoma island. Our poll even leans Iowa State. Holy shit. 53% of our viewers said they would take the 3 with the Cyclones. Just 40% said they would lay the 3 with Oklahoma. Next.
Well, I'm glad I got the Scoop kiss of death.
Yeah, right. Actually, the Scoop Spaghetti Lock has been weirdly good in the Discord. I mean, he thinks he's like 9-2.
He's dropping one today, so stay tuned, everyone.
Yeah, and like, dude, that shit gets like 30 emojis in the Discord. I don't know. People are really liking that Spaghetti Lock.
I'm pretty sure Scoop is responsible for 20 of those, but I don't know.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't put it past them to do some shit like that.
Scumbag.
So we got Auburn -2.5, Arkansas plus 2.5 at home. Total sitting at 157. SEC, Toast, thoughts?
Yeah, I will be on Arkansas taking the points here. I got it last night at +3. Yeah, I don't think it's moved very much. Yeah, it's at 2.5 now. Let's see. Arkansas 3 straight. They got that kid Keon Menafield back. I think between that and then Brazil being able to stay in front of, keep up with the Jamari Broom and stuff, I just really think that this is a good spot for Arkansas at home. Now finally healthy to finally have a marquee win on their schedule. Auburn, a pretty good, decent team, a team that I love playing when they're playing in the jungle at home. Definitely far away from home here today. They did have one other road game this year, was on the road at Appalachian State. They lost by 5. So I'll take my chances with the points with the Hogs at home today.
Yeah, before you go, Andy, I'm with it. I'm taking our Scoop. Arkansas plus 2.5 is one of my favorite bets today, says Scoop. I'm on Arkansas too. Lions dropped from 4.5 all the way down to 2.5. I like taking home dogs in conference play when it comes to college sports. Again, don't know a ton about these teams. But, yeah, I'm on the Hogs too. Andy?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. And that was like the only reason I had. When I wrote it down, it was just the Arkansas at home. Auburn looked bad in their one road game. Like, I wish more teams would play. Like, you got to play true road games in your non-conference because you're going to come into SEC play now. Arkansas is probably one of the toughest places to play in the SEC, I would say. Maybe third. But, like, they're a really good home team, and you're facing a team that had a really bad road game this year. That's the only, like, I think Auburn's a better team, but I just think on the road they're just not going to look better.
Auburn's a better team, but they have one of the better home court advantages in the country. The jungle gets rocking, so yeah, it's just really hard for me to.
They call it. That's what it's called, the jungle. Arkansas's home court. I like it.
Yeah.
Andy, did you go and make this hog smaller in the graphic?
Dude, what do you mean?
See right here? Did you make this smaller?
Some of them were new. Like Arkansas wasn't in there yet.
Oh, okay. That's why. All right. So we'll fix that for next one. All right. So our poll's pretty split. on this one. 47% said you would lay the 2.5 with Auburn. 44% said you would take the 2.5 with Arkansas. So very slight edge, but Auburn wins the poll. But it seems like you guys are pretty split on that one. Next, Texas Tech at Texas. Now, this is a night game. So this is our first example of Andy being drunk making the graphics. This should be about 6 or 7 games down. But it's Texas Tech at Texas. So we're switching over to the Big 12. I'm pretty sure this line's 6.5. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was 6.5 last night as well. So I think this is one of the few lines that didn't go anywhere. Because what I did was I double-checked all the graphics late last night before I went to sleep. Then I woke up, and almost every single one had changed. Like, every single one except this one. This one stayed put at 6.5. Either you guys have anything you like here?
Andy,
I was on Texas, but I think last night Texas Tech lost one of their best players. Is that why?
He's going to play. So
he's going to play.
Pop Isaac has some allegations about sexual conduct with a minor or whatever it is.
Oh, shit.
So far, supposedly the university's known about it for like 3 weeks now. And the information they have, they say that he's good to play. So take that for what it is.
Okay.
Definitely some bullshit going on at Texas Tech, though. Not saying that they're part of the bullshit. I'm just saying there's a lot of things going on.
Yo, dude, in the comments, don't copy and paste your shit like that. Like, I have no problem with people sharing their pics in the comments. I think that's awesome. But stop copying and pasting like that. Sorry about that. Anyway, you said just a lean for you?
Well, no. So I did Texas 2 ways. I did Texas and Marquette money line together, which is like minus 106. And then I did Texas and Hofstra together as well at plus 128. So I think Texas wins the game. I'm not really worried. I'm not really willing to lay multiple points in this kind of like this start of Big 12 play with them. But I do think that they win. I think they're a safe parlay piece. I know that that's kind of a coward's way out, but I truly believe that they win the game. I wouldn't be trying to lay it, even with all that BS from Texas Tech. They're really good defensively, and he's still going to play. Yeah. So I think that I think the best way is to use Texas in a money line.
Yeah, I think when this line opened, it was 4, so I had it at Texas 4. I'll still lay the 6.5. I think they're far better. They're one of the few teams that are top 20 in both offensive and defensive ratings this year, so that's pretty good. I don't really love Texas Tech. Now you have like the added emotion of it, I guess. Like at home, Texas. I like that parlay too, the Shaka Smart parlay you got going on there. So.
You like that?
Shaka Smart parlay. All right, so both you guys leaning Texas here. And I'm seeing the line that opened up at 3.5, 4. It has since moved to 6.5, but it was at 6.5 last night. So it's been sitting at 6.5, taking mostly Texas money. But yeah, so our poll is definitely leaning towards Texas. 60% of you said you would lay the 6.5 with the Longhorns. 34% said you would take the 6.5 with the Texas Tech. Man, what happened to Texas Tech? It was such a good basketball program like 2 years ago.
Chris Beard left.
Mark Adams was kind of, and now look at where they are.
Yeah, well, I guess that'll do it, huh? Marquette at Seton Hall, Big East. This line's down to 5.5. It was at 6, so a little bit of movement here. Marquette minus 5.5. Seton Hall plus 5.5. Over 144. Now, normally I would just blindly be like, Seton Hall. See, obviously this game's in New Jersey. I think a lot of states are like this. I can't bet this one because it's Seton Hall in New Jersey. Now, normally I'd be like, yo, Seton Hall plus the points at home. But from what I'm reading, what I'm hearing, Seton Hall, this isn't our strongest squad. So, Andy, what do you think here?
Yeah, I'm on Marquette. Seton Hall is going to be back and forth in Big East play no matter. Like, they beat UConn to open up Big East play, lost to Xavier, got blown out in the second half, and then they went and beat Providence, which is great. Now they're going. Yeah, Bryce Hopkins got hurt in the middle of the game. Like I'm on Marquette just solely because like I know they're more consistent. They're getting their offense going. It's a far better team. Seton Hall, I can't trust that they're going to come out and play the exact same game every day. Marquette, they're playing the same game. They're playing the same style. Seton Hall is they're running a slow pace and they're trying to speed up. It's just ridiculous. I'm watching that team. It's insane this year. So
Scoop says in the comments, Seton Hall money line.
Yes. Sweet. Double up on Marquette minus 5.5 for me, man. I've said this since the beginning of the year, and I'm not going to stop. I do think that Marquette's the best basketball team in the country. I understand that they're not ranked number 1 in the country. Losses to Purdue on a neutral, Wisconsin away, Providence away. Providence is 40-4, I think, the last 3 years at home. So that loss to Seton Hall was quite rare. Seton Hall, decent. I don't think that they're as bad as some people like to think that they are. Kadari Richmond and all those guys, very good. But I do think that with Tyler Kolek and Cam Jones and stuff like that, I just think it's going to be a little bit too much. Like Andy was saying, the turnover rate for this Seton Hall offense, 232 in the country, and you're going to face a Marquette team that's top 10 in the country at turning teams over defensively. I just think that Seton Hall is going to have a hard time holding on to the ball today. And Marquette's not a team that's going to beat you from deep, but Seton Hall really doesn't guard the perimeter at all. So if even a couple of those guys start hitting balls from deep, it could get to be a blowout pretty fast here tonight. So, I'll take my chances with Marquette. I'm going to continue to ride them.
I'm with Scoop. Pirates up. Me and Scoop against the world. Everyone's taking Marquette here. Line drop from 6 to 5.5. I can't bet this one, like I said, but our poll is all. And Scoop said Providence was 6th in defensive efficiency. How did that go? So Scoop's coming in the chat hard.
Their best player got hurt.
Their best player. You know what? Take it, Scoop. Spaghetti lock that shit. Please God.
I think Providence is in this list. We're going to talk about that.
Scoop's not going to make Seton Hall a spaghetti lock. 77% of the viewers said that they would lay the 5.5 with Marquette. So everyone's on Marquette here. 22% said they would take the 5.5 with Seton Hall. Next. Miami at Wake. ACC is up next. This line is now at 4.5. So Wake catching 4.5 on the road. Miami laying 4.5 at home. Totals at 159.5.
Game's at Wake.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I mixed that up. So, but they are okay. So the home team is favored. So I had that part right.
Yeah.
So Wake Forest laying 4.5 at home. Miami catching 4.5 on the road. Sorry about that. All right, poll is running. What are you guys' thoughts on this one?
This is a really I didn't bet this game. Really hard game for me to handicap. Miami coming off a huge win. Only played one road game this year, which was at Kentucky. They got throttled at Kentucky. But Kentucky's a really good team. I'm not really opposed to playing Miami. The shot quality model really likes Miami. They have Miami comfortably winning by 4 almost. So pretty decent size lean to Miami there. I just didn't play it because neither one of these teams have played a great schedule. And I think that Wake is a little bit better than I think people give them credit for, but I want to see it here in conference play. North Carolina and Clemson were 2 really good wins for them. North Carolina and Clemson, that was Miami. Wake Forest has only played Virginia Tech and Boston College with losses to like LSU and stuff, who's not a very good team. But I think that with Kevin Miller and Hunter Silas, and now that the other kid, Efton Reed from Gonzaga as well, is starting to play, that his transfer stuff is all cleared up. I think they're continuing to get better. I just don't know if I'm ready to lay 4.5 against a Miami team that, has more guards than Shawshank, as John Rothstein would say. It's just really hard for me. I think this is going to be a really fun game to watch, but I think it's a really hard game to bet.
Andy, someone asked if you're in the Discord. Are you in the Discord?
I don't think I've ever gotten into it. I do have to get in it.
Okay.
Because I've seen a lot of people have been talking in it.
All right. So are you agreeing?
I'm on. When I saw this line, I was on Miami immediately. Miami's a far better team. They shoot the 3 really well. Both these teams shoot the 3 very well, and they shoot it a lot. But Miami shoots it. It's pretty much the only thing they do. They try to shoot 3s pretty much every shot. I've seen both these teams play. My team was different in each game. I really like this Miami team this year. I know pretty much every time they went up against a top team so far, they've gotten beaten up. Obviously, the Kentucky game is the one everybody points to. But I think against Clemson, they really showed me a lot. And I know they're going on the road, and they haven't had a really true road game, but Wake doesn't have a great home court advantage. The ACC, there's only a few teams that really do. So I go Miami here.
I'll give you that.
I'll take Miami, although we watched in the office the Miami-Georgia game, and that was some sloppy basketball. So I don't know how good Wake is. But by the way, Scoops in on Wake Forest -4.5, so he's fading both you guys here. Is that a spaghetti?
This is one of the more exciting games for me, I think, to watch out of the 150 or whatever it is. It's just really hard for me. I would play Miami too if I had to, but yeah.
So our poll is on 58% picked Miami +4.5, just 26% laying the 4.5 with Wake. So viewers like Miami. Scoop is on his own little Wake Forest island today. Next, TCU at Kansas. This line is at 9. So we got TCU +9, Kansas -9, over 152.5, under 152.5. All right, let's run the poll. Andy, is 9 points enough to get you onto TCU?
It's I'm on TCU. That's a high number. I know it's on the road, but TCU is they're a solid team. Like, I watched them. I think I don't know who they were playing, like Texas A&M Commerce the other day, but they looked really good in that game. They've looked pretty good all year. I know their strength of schedule is not the greatest, but Kansas is at home. They've played some close games this year. It's not like they're blowing everybody out at home, the good teams that have come to play them. But so, yeah, I think the number is just too high because Kansas is, I think, 5 or 6 points better than them. So that's why I was on TCU.
Scoop likes TCU as well, but the way Toast reacted to his TCU pick, I think Toast is on the other side.
Yeah, I didn't bet this, but there's no way in hell. Hold on. So TCU has played the number 349th strongest schedule in the country. Jamie Dixon's getting kicked out of games in Miami in the first half because of traveling calls, and now he's going to come into the fog and keep it within double digits. I don't know, man. Yeah. So yeah, that's me. I didn't bet this game, but there's no way I'd be on TCU. I know my uncle's on Kansas. Kansas is a really good basketball team that doesn't really have any really good marquee wins this year besides Tennessee and Connecticut, which are obviously big ones, in Kentucky. But as far as this conference play, I think they're going to start it off right. But yeah, 8's a lot, but I do think that they win by double digits. I just personally don't have good luck betting Kansas for or against them. It's just one of those things where I really, really have to like a side for me to bet them or against them. But yeah, I do think that they kill them today, but I'm on them.
Looks like the comments are all in on TCU too. I'm with
TCU's a really good defensive team.
340th strength of schedule. Yeah, no.
That's what I'm talking about. They're good defensively. They've played Southern, Nebraska, Omaha, UT Rio Grande Valley, Mississippi Valley State.
Mississippi. Oh, they play Mississippi Valley
Texas
State.
They looked really good against Texas.
Did they play Did they play Oak Hill Christian yet?
No, that's not. They played Houston Christian though.
Yo,
Nebraska's good. That's
with a game like this, though, you got to know going in. Think of how many people are putting down college basketball parlays today, and think of how many people have Kansas money line in it.
That's what exactly.
I'm one of them. I do think
Guilty.
they win the game. I do think they win the game.
I'm one of them, he says.
Like -600 or something.
62% of you would lay the points with Kansas. Just 22% would take the 9 with TCU.
It is fun, though, on days like this to have like a 20-team parlay that's like
that'll never hit.
Sometimes they do. I mean, it's just
You just take every great money line. Like, there's a lot of them today that you're like, that team's easily going to beat them in these big conferences. This is one of them.
We are now talking Big Ten basketball, the best conference there is, and this line is 1. Ohio State on the road at Indiana. 148.5. Let's get the poll running. Toast, any thoughts on this marquee Big Ten matchup?
I think Ohio State kills them. I think that Indiana is a bad basketball team that's trying to find their own way right now. And Ohio State is a legit top 20 team they lost to Penn State and Texas A&M, but they have decent wins over Alabama. Oakland was their first game of the year. I know Oakland's not a big name, but they're one of the top mid-major teams in the country. So it's just haven't really shown me much lately. On the road scares me a little bit, but there's just nothing that Indiana has shown me to make me want to bet this team. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. When they got killed by Nebraska, that was kind of like the icing on the cake for me. I mean, I'm talking about Indiana, losing to Auburn and Kansas, that doesn't really bother me that much, even though Kansas was at home. that was a close one, but to come back and then lose like that against Nebraska on the road now, it's just really hard for me to bet Indiana.
Andy?
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it too. I think they blow them out too. Indiana at home, like everybody will say, this is a home game for Indiana. They played Morehead State at home. They played Army at home, and they barely beat those teams. I think did they not lose a game at home this year? I don't know. They are not that. Just because they're at home doesn't mean they're playing well. They are a bad basketball team. Like 200th, over 200th in offensive rating. This team's trying to move fast, and they're not a fast-paced team. I don't get it. Like. It's not a good team. I saw them play Louisville earlier in the year, and pretty much from that moment, I said, "Wow, this team's bad."
I don't get it though. Is it? Indiana's a better basketball program. Well, maybe not better, but
should be.
They're really that bad.
They're not a better program than compared to Kansas. Or, well, I guess yeah.
Than Ohio State. I mean,
they're Ohio State.
Should be.
Sorry.
But their coach isn't as good as Holtman. I think Holtman's
really good too. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a little nervous. Dude, Ohio State only laying 1 point on the road in Indiana. I don't know.
Look, Indiana had a chance to have a marquee win at home. Kansas tried to give them that game, and they still lost.
Okay, so Indiana's a heavy public dog here. Didn't realize that.
I mean,
but our poll really is saying heavy Ohio State, though, so that's why I don't really trust those sites sometimes. Because I just looked at Action Network for a quick glance, and it's showing everybody on Indiana. Meanwhile, I just ran a poll to our 410 viewers. 76% of you said Ohio State. So either we just are the land of the sharps, and only the sharpest people ever are watching this show, or those websites, maybe not the best data to go by. They're accumulating data over the last 2 days, too.
That's why I said, like, with the North Carolina game, like, depending on where you look is depending on where the money's coming in.
Right. Next. Whoa. No, we don't need the Spurs injury report. Yeah, they came out sick, right? They're not 100% functional yet, but they will be by Monday. The Johnnies. And Toast is still scarred from fading the Johnnies the other night. He came out. He took a stance against the Johnnies. We held strong.
You know why?
Why?
Because I just bet Butler. I just got my money back with Butler, so I'm all good.
Oh, Butler lost. What are you talking about?
I know. That's Connecticut last night.
Oh, right. And
the money that I lost with Butler to St. John's, I got it right back the next time they played.
Living Good in the Discord was all about Butler too. Butler against UConn last night. He was like taking a stance on it. Poor Living Good. So I'm putting St. John's up because they're my squad. St. John's was 4.5 blind, but I don't know much, guys. Let's see. I would listen to them over me.
Go ahead, Andy. Yeah.
Villanova, one of the slowest paced. I think they are the slowest paced team in the Big East. Pitino loves that. Pitino will press them. He will force them turnovers. In their loss to St. Joe's, Villanova lost to St. Joe's earlier in the year. They were pressed and they turned the ball over 17 times. Rick Pitino is laughing at that right now. He is so ready to do that. They are without one of their best scorers, Chris Ledlam. He's not going to play, but he hasn't played, and he's kind of been weary in their past few games, and they've been fine without him. Even in that UConn game, I know he got hurt. They are I think St. John's is a better team. They're not way better, but I know they're going on the road. But Villanova's lost a couple of games at home now, and they've lost games in Pennsylvania a lot, in Philly, because they lost at the Palestra too. So, I'm on St. John's in this one.
Johnny's up. Scoops on the Johnnies. I'm on the Johnnies. Toast, are we sweeping Johnnies?
Yeah, I'm on the Johnnies. Don't like the quick turnaround for Villanova. Obviously, not this is breaking news, but they're still not going to have Justin Moore for this game. I just think it's really going to be hard. That's a really tough prep for the Villanova staff so quickly. St. John's is playing a lot better basketball than they were in the beginning of the year. Their offense is starting to look somewhat formidable. It's always going to be hard to beat Villanova in Villanova, but I'm sorry. They are playing in Villanova.
It's at the campus.
Yeah, but I'm on the Johnnies as well. I think that they can rebound just as good as Villanova. And like I said, this short turnaround is going to be a really hard prep for Kyle Neptune and whatnot. So I'll take my chances with the 3.5.
Scoop says he also likes the under 143.5.
I'm just cursed with totals. So
our poll is on the Johnnies. Well, it's actually kind of split. So 48% of you said you would take the 4.5 with St. John's. 45% said you would lay the 4.5 with Villanova. So you guys are pretty split on this one. A lot of people like the Johnnies, though. You love to see it.
You could have got that. And its line's moving down too, because my uncle got St. John's at 5.5, so it's coming down too.
Yeah, you love to see that too. Line movement is on our side. Next up, we got the Georgia Bulldogs.
This is a late ad.
No, you put it in there.
I was going to say it come in my list.
Did I? Sure. Oh, I didn't know I put it in there because I didn't make it.
You had Georgia at Florida, so I figured you must have meant Georgia at Missouri.
Florida.
Andy's trying to gaslight us.
That was
so
just Georgia. I was going to do another game with that graphic, but I didn't have the logos. Remember?
Oh, well.
But
so
hey,
I figured
this is a fine game to do.
This is a fine game.
I can talk about Georgia.
So, for those of you who don't know, Andy was born in Georgia. He's a diehard Georgia Bulldogs fan. Actually, Georgia Bulldogs basketball, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody follow a team as closely as Andy follows Georgia Bulldogs basketball. In the middle of, NBA playoffs, in the middle of an MLB playoff game, he's tweeting about Georgia Bulldogs basketball in the offseason. Is this a good spot for Georgia on the road at Mizzou?
No, this is a bad spot. Georgia has not I'm trying to think. I don't think we played one true road game. It was Florida State. They were down 17 with 6 minutes left, came back and won. Florida State's bad. So that was not a good win, even if it was on the road. Now they're going against Missouri, who they've played a couple big games. They did get blown out by Illinois, but Missouri's ready for SEC play. Last year, they were really good in SEC play, and this team's still pretty good. So I'd side Missouri here in this one over at the 5, too. I think this is a 9-10 point game. Georgia didn't play a great schedule toward the end and started to play better. But this is a team that, other than their win against Wake Forest, which happened the second game of the year, hadn't beaten anybody. So I don't really see it here.
So you're on Mizzou. I actually just realized I don't have pick graphics for this one, so I'll type it in. So hold on.
I think Mizzou is a really good one of those we were talking about money line pieces. I think they're a good, safe money line piece that's going to be at a decent price.
Wow, no love for the dogs on this program.
Plus 190 was what Georgia was at. So a decent number.
You guys both like Mizzou at -5. All right. I'll just put it up here so everyone can see it. Our community also heavily likes Mizzou. No respect for the Bulldogs on this program.
They'll see. One day.
Not today.
Not tonight.
Next up, I have Pistons at Warriors. What?
Well, that's definitely.
No, I hold on. I have the other ones right here.
Each ship's going nuts. Yes.
My moment.
Talk about it. Tell them.
Did the Warriors
Did the Pistons win last night?
I was just about to ask. Did the Warriors? Who won that game, Kyle?
Warriors won. Pistons covered.
Okay, my friend had like $150 on the Warriors last night.
What money line?
Yeah, he's insane. He's doing like some
I took the 10, so I won. I took the 10 with the Detroit. Actually, Pistons took the lead with a minute left too.
Jeez.
And then blew it. Steph Curry drew a foul. I think it was. That's how they won. All right, Virginia at NC State. We'll talk some ACC basketball here. Virginia, this line's down to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Over 120. Oh, 127.5. Okay, they're not exactly expecting an offensive explosion. So they're not exactly expecting an offensive explosion here. What are you guys' thoughts?
I don't expect it. I don't expect an offensive explosion either. I have the under. These teams are not great. Yeah, these are not great offensive teams. I'm off Virginia completely. They lost a couple 2 weeks ago to Notre Dame. That was a team that I didn't think would beat anybody in the ACC besides Louisville. So I really don't like this Virginia team this year. They're still playing great defense though, and NC State doesn't really shoot the 3 great. So that's the only thing that you got to do that if you're going to beat Virginia, and if you're going to score in Virginia, you're not getting inside the paint on them. So. Yeah, I don't see any points being scored.
Guy in the comments just gave out FAU money line, and then another guy responded and said they're -800.
Yeah, literally.
I was gonna say I don't know how you bet FAU money line. You don't know what team's gonna show up. Yeah. So this total's low because Virginia is gonna keep this game at a crawl. Not only do they going to play slow, they play defense extremely well too. So Virginia, 322 in average possession length, which is like the exact opposite of NC State. NC State's 67th in the country in average possession length. So NC State likes to get up and down. Virginia likes to slow it down. Virginia will enforce that. They will slow this game down. I can assure you that's just what they do. NC State, a good team last year with Tre'Tavion Smith and other guys like that. Now they just got the big bad DJ Burns. I'm pretty sure Sauce is a big DJ Burns guy. He's like that big guy with the headband, Sauce. He's I don't know. I think
is he the center?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I like him.
Yes.
I like that guy.
But yeah, so decent team. But this one was a hard. I leaned Virginia. But again, Andy said it perfectly. After that Notre Dame loss, it's just really hard for me to get behind this team. So, and then as far as the under's concerned, I like that as well because I have a hard time seeing NC State scoring. Like I said, we know Virginia doesn't score a lot. They like to keep it slow. And both these teams are some of the worst free throw shooting teams in the country. Virginia's terrible, 330th in the country, and NC State's 252. So you're not going to see a lot of points on the free throw line between these two teams either.
Scoop also said he would lean Virginia as well, so I'll put up a Virginia for me.
Tell Scoop not to be a coward and just come on the show.
He texted, he was like, do you need me to come on tomorrow morning? And I was like, do you want to come on? Like, I would have done it with 4.
He's a coward.
Yeah, he did. He was like, maybe I'll just watch the first one. I swear to God, he said those exact words.
That's what he said to me, too. He's a coward.
So we're pretty split here on the poll as far as the community goes. 48% of you said that you would take Virginia +1. 44% of you said you would take NC State -1. So pretty split down the middle on that one.
Scoop, when has this show ever been so serious that you should be afraid to come on?
I know.
Lakers Grizzlies.
Lakers Grizzlies up next. We're talking Lakers Grizzlies.
Lakers are terrible.
Yeah, Grizzlies won again Lakers lost again at home last night. Here we go. It's Baylor, Oklahoma State. That's what's up next. All right.
Ooh, Andy's shaking his head. You got to play on this one, Andy?
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one for Oklahoma State. They can't defend the 3. They can't really shoot the 3. Baylor's shooting the 3. Unbelievable right there. Baylor heavy.
Wow,
this is one of my
heavy.
favorites. This is like
Really?
Kentucky level. This Oklahoma State team's bad. Oklahoma State's not a good team. And oh, really? Baylor I know they're on the road. They just opened up their new building. I know they're excited to play their first home game in the Big 12. Their new stadium. But on the road, Oklahoma State has no home court advantage, really. This is going to be ugly.
Wow, he said Baylor heavy.
First and effective field goal percentage.
So this is one of your top bets of the day.
Yeah, I'm actually going to post them after we're done.
It's about time. I've been telling this dude, like, yo, you love college football.
I already have the
basketball.
draft.
He doesn't tweet anything.
Here I am in the trenches doing it all by myself, and Andy's like, oh, yeah, I can do a couple maybe.
All right.
You're leaving me in the trenches taking grenades, Andy.
So you disagree, Toast. You're on the other side?
I do disagree. I think this is a really, really good good spot for Oklahoma State. First true road game for Baylor. Baylor's had a couple other hiccups on the road or on neutral courts, I should say, because they haven't played on the road. But Michigan State and Duke, obviously those teams are very good. Oklahoma State, I will give Andy, they're bad, but they can shoot the 3-ball. They're one of the best shooting 3-ball shooting teams in the country. I just think that to open up conference play, if you're going to give me a 4.5-point home dog in a game that I think should have been closer to probably 6. It's just kind of that it kind of made this choice easy for me. So I'm all over Oklahoma State here with the 4.5.
So it looks like you're on a complete island there because everyone's saying Stephen Harrison's in the comments saying Baylor, KG Visuals, Baylor. Oh, you know what? Here comes EQ. Yeehaw Cowboys, he said. So you're with EQ. And the community poll is all over Baylor. 75% of you clicked Baylor -5. So it's the community and Andy versus Toast and EQ on an island.
It seem like Oklahoma State is a bad defense. They're not terrible. They're 59th in the country. So I'm just saying.
Next.
Who are you on? Sauce?
You know what? I like being on the island, so I'll put up. I have no clue. That's who I'm on. To be honest, I was just going to right after this hop on and see what kind of ticket you posted on the website and tell like some of your top bets. That was probably, but I'll put up. I like being on the island. But
I didn't do any write-ups because there's 170 games and we had this live today, so I didn't know if Andy was going to add some. But yeah,
I don't think Andy hasn't done anything for the website yet, but I'm sure we could start doing some. All right, next. Oh, not this.
Sacramento and the Raptors.
Oh, yes. The Kings Raptors is up next.
I heard RJ Barrett had a bad night.
Dude, he wasn't even on the court at the end of that.
Stats. 2025.
Oh, sorry. I had this written down too. Oklahoma State has lost 8 games against Baylor going back to 2016, but 6 of those games were decided by single digits. All very close games. So, yeah, I'm taking my chances.
We're talking Pac-12 now, and it's Stanford on the road to play the Trojans. This line is now 4, or at least it was about an hour ago. Stanford +4, USC -4. Is LeBron James Jr., Bronny James is on this team, right?
Yes, he is.
All right, so I guess a lot of people are paying attention to this.
Plays a little bit.
He's starting to pick up his footing a little bit, scoring. But
are you siding with Bronny?
Are you? I'm not. I'm on Stanford. I like the Stanford team. I think they'll have an outside shot to make the tournament. The Stanford team. I think they're good. USC. I know of, they don't have a great home court advantage. The Stanford team, a better team. I think just better.
Scoop says a spaghetti lock is coming in the Discord, and yes, he is. I can vouch for that. He is 10-2 in his last 12 spaghettis. I don't know why he calls it that, but they have been hitting. Toast, are you siding with Bronny?
I just don't understand this line, to be dead honest with you. I don't understand why USC is laying 4. You have a USC team that has losses to Gonzaga, Long Beach State, Auburn, Oregon State, and the 3 teams they've beat in that time period is Eastern Washington, Alabama State, and Cal. And then if you take a look on the other side, Stanford, they have wins against San Diego, Idaho, Arizona, UCLA, and the teams they lost to was Arizona State, who's on their way up right now. It seems to be playing really good. Another huge win last night, 2 nights ago. And then San Diego State, who's a top 20 team that just beat Gonzaga on the road as well. This line makes no sense to me. Stanford's getting healthy. They're getting guys back. The guy's name is escaping me right now that he just started playing for him like 2 games ago. God, that's going to bother me now. But anyway, it seems like a trap, to be honest with you. Like, I don't understand. Stanford minus our +4 should be free the way that these 2 teams are playing right now. So this line just makes no sense to me.
Well,
it's just everybody thinks their talent just eventually has to come out because they do have the number 1 player in the country, and obviously they have Bronny, and everybody knows Bronny. But like, it should have come out against the bad teams they played, and they played close game. Right?
Who's the number 1 player in the country they have?
Isaiah Collier. He'll be drafted into the NBA next year. But like, even so, like, he was a good number. Like any other year, he probably wouldn't have been the number 1 player in the country. He probably would have been number 10. This is a really bad recruiting class. He's come in. He hasn't been crazy. Like, he's been good. And obviously, Bronny had the health issue, and he's starting to pick it up now. But he should have started against the bad teams, and now they're playing good teams. So
he was on medical. They were playing him 3 minutes at a time. Look, I'm a USC guy. I really like USC basketball. It's one of the teams like Gonzaga I follow. I mean, you have Collier, Boogie Ellis, Kobe Johnson. Boogie Ellis isn't an NBA guy, but Kobe Johnson's probably an NBA guy at 6'6". So there's nothing to say that USC shouldn't be good. They just haven't put it together this year. I don't think it has really anything to do with Bronny. Maybe Anfield's not that good of a coach. They have played a pretty good, decent schedule, but I think 55th in the country. But Stanford's played 97th hardest in the country. So it's not like Stanford. It's not like Stanford's playing a whole bunch of cupcakes in themselves. So, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, Andy Enfield is the only man that could have parlayed 1 great month into like 8 years of job security when he was at Florida Gulf Coast. I don't know how he's still coaching USC, but
because he doesn't lose very often in March.
Oh, he makes it to March, but they never go deep. I mean, like
46% of our viewers said they would take the 4 with Stanford. 43% said they would lay the 4 with UNC. So pretty split on this one. There are people, I know Social saying doesn't understand the line, but I think that might be it. Maybe there's people blindly betting USC because of LeBron James' son, or maybe that kid Collier. They have a lot of star power, so maybe that betting USC comes with a bit of a tax right now. Next. Whoa. If you have a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. As you can see.
Oh,
no. Let's see. 3 people.
Every time I call, it just has a busy signal, so I just hang up.
Did you see the one guy streaming? That was actually fake. Me and Andy debunked that because we actually called.
We called.
Yeah, because the one guy, that's the Underdog map. So the one guy, he was streaming and he called 1-800-GAMBLER, and they were like, pranking him. They were like
They're
pretending
to be Burger.
Yeah,
Burger King.
that
right?
was fake though. The whole thing was fake. We debunked it. Me and Eddie we were working here and we called. We were like, we need to get to the bottom of this.
You called the number?
It was like the nicest woman in the world.
Yeah,
too.
she was so nice, and she was like, we're aware of the viral video going around. It's not real. It was so fake.
I felt terrible. I was like, this is the nicest woman in the world. She's probably been getting this call all day where people are trying to get pranked.
Does it make you
Wait,
wonder how she got...
saying our audio's messing up, but I don't know how. 2 people said it, so I'm assuming it was. Hopefully it's back now. It says excellent connection on my end.
But is this because they hear how sick I am?
I was going to say, I usually have something on my end, and I hear everything fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I think we're good. Maybe it was just skipping for a second. Audio's good now. Scoop says audio's been fine the whole time. People are just trolling. All right.
Well, sometimes the audio kicks out for me on YouTube. It's not. They probably weren't trolling.
All right. So, Mississippi State, South Carolina. SEC, South Carolina home dog here. Andy, you love SEC basketball. What's the move here?
This is going to be on my tweet. Top bet, Mississippi State. South Carolina, I don't like calling teams frauds, but they are. I mean, they played one good team and they lost to them. They lost to Clemson. It was a close game, but I'm still questioning how good Clemson is. I think Mississippi State, they haven't gotten to full strength because I don't think Tolu Smith has played yet, and I don't know if he's playing in this game. I doubt it. He's still I don't remember what it was. It was a leg injury. Mississippi State, I saw them play. They're still very physical, and it's very hard to get shots up against them. South Carolina wants to shoot in the mid-range. They're not getting in the mid-range in this game. They're going to get bullied around. They have no home court advantage either. I think I saw a ranking the other day. South Carolina has the worst home court ranking in the SEC. It's just empty building. Unless they start winning a lot of SEC games, that place isn't going to fill. I like this Mississippi State team too, so Mississippi State.
Yeah, that building has 18,000 seats, and
I don't know why it's so big.
Well, Toast, do you agree with one of Andy's top bets here?
Yeah, I feel like the line is really short, so it kind of threw me off of it a little bit. But I feel like Mississippi State should be free. So yeah.
It's actually now down to 2.5. So yeah, you got it.
Mississippi State's just really good.
It went up and then back down.
I think that. Yeah, I think that defensively, they're top 10 in the league, or top 10 in the country. They're not going to let you hit 3 balls at all. I just think that it's, Josh Hubbard and what's that kid's name, Jimmy Bell. Those guys got it going on right now. So, also a huge coaching mismatch too.
100%. Yeah,
Chris Jans over. Yeah, it's not even close. So
obviously Andy says top bet. I'm tailing. I'm on Mississippi State -3 too. Let's do it. Definitely feels a little bit square just looking at the action here. Looks like a lot of people are on Mississippi State.
That's the only thing that held me off.
And this line was at 3 earlier today because when I updated these pick graphics, it said 3. So it definitely dropped from 3 to 2.5. But you know what? A lot of people clicked South Carolina in the poll, though. 52% said Mississippi State -3. 40% said South Carolina. So actually pretty split. There's a lot of people that like the Gamecocks today.
I can see that too because both these teams play really slow too, like 260 plus as far as average possession length. So neither one of them is trying to push it in transition or shoot the 3 ball well at either.
Mississippi State's the worst shooting team I've ever seen. They are.
Yeah.
All right, next. Let's 1 second.
They will miss. They'll shoot 3 of 27. They'll come back, shoot 27 more threes next game.
But if they have their offense rolling, they're all right because inside the paint, they're pretty decent.
They're dominant in the paint. Yeah.
Next up is Cincinnati at BYU.
BYU.
Toast didn't plan on talking about this one.
Didn't plan on it. BYU is something else. I don't know what to think of this team. I'm curious to see what Andy says.
Andy, anything for this one?
Yeah, I'm on BYU. They're first in net rating, second in defensive, third in offensive. They're pretty much an all-around great team. I don't believe their strength schedule is that strong. I could be wrong on that, but I don't remember them playing an overly crazy schedule. Cincinnati, they're still building a lot there.
305 in the country.
So they haven't played. I don't think Cincinnati played anybody either. So I don't think either of these teams played anybody. BYU, it's a weird game. It's a long travel for Cincinnati to play that game in a conference game, and we're going to get a lot more of that. But BYU, I think this is their first or second Big 12 game probably. So, I'm on BYU.
Toast, any lean here?
This will be their conference opener. I have a hard time believing our BYU doesn't win this game. But yeah, I mean, at 10, I don't know. It is their first conference. It's going to be their opening conference game. Neither one of these teams have really played anyone that good. But yeah, I mean, BYU is a darling when it comes to all the models. Anything that you look at, whether it's shot quality, college basketball analytics, Evan Maya, Ken Palm, they all have BYU graded out very, very good. Metrically, everything that they do is good. Coming off of wins, though, against Denver, Georgia State, Bellarmine, and Wyoming, I understand that Cincinnati's not that good, but I still think they're around top 40, top 50 in the country. Been in these games before. So, yeah, I would lean with the points, but I can't bet this one.
Oh, okay, so you weren't saying BYU. You were just – okay. You said BYU will win. Got it.
Yeah.
Our poll, 66% says BYU minus 9.5. So the graphic says BYU minus 10.5, but you can get 9.5, I believe. You know what? Let me confirm that real quick. See what the line is right now. BYU is 9.5. 9.5. So this graphic says
BYU, I also will say, has one of the better home court advantages in the country.
Yeah,
there's 18,000 seats in that spot or in that place. They fill it up pretty well, so it should be pretty loud for them tonight or today, whatever time they play.
All right,
it's like 11 o'clock start. If I'm not
two more games left. Providence at Creighton, Big East. Scoop wants to talk about it. He loves the Big East. This line is at 11. We got Providence.
Scoop can type it into the comments then.
Yeah, Scoop, what are you doing here? I know you have a move on this. He likes Big East, and he likes I forget the other conference he's always talking about. There we go.
Tolu is back today. Huh?
Creighton Big. Scoop says in all capital letters, Creighton Big, let's go. Toast, do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't know. Andy, do you agree too?
100%, yes.
Sorry, I thought I heard something. I thought you were trying to say something. Look, Providence is coming off of a game where they lost at home. I can understand like injured player theory where they're all going to play well and stuff, but I just don't see it. I think when you lose a point guard and you come in and play a Creighton team that hasn't really been as dominant in their last 3 games. I mean, we can go back to December 13th. They lose to UNLV on a neutral. Then they beat Alabama, then lose back-to-back to Nova and Marquette, and then come back and throttle Georgetown. I think it's more of the same today. I think that Creighton at home, one of the better spots, another place that holds 18,000 places, a top 20 place to play in the country. Creighton's played a good schedule, 29th in the country. So I can understand people trying to get behind Providence after the injury and stuff like that, but I just don't see it. The Providence defense is going to take a hit with him gone. I think that Creighton rolls here today. We'll have to see, I guess.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I know a lot of people give that excuse to like one of your best players gets hurt, everybody rallies around it. I think that might work for the first half, but Creighton's just they're already a better team. Now you subtract Bryce Hopkins. I'm kind of off Providence for that. Not that he was the only good player on the team, but it's gonna be very tough for them to compete in the Big East without that elite player. Because there's a lot of teams that have elite players, and they don't have one now.
And Creighton doesn't have like a deep team. I mean, You're going to have like your Alexander, Sharman, Kalkbrenner, Ashworth. Those guys are always going to play the full game, but Providence doesn't either. Providence 259 in bench minutes. So you take off Hopkins. I mean, you don't really have much behind that either, especially guys that have played a whole bunch either. So I just think, especially in a conference game, I think Creighton keeps their foot on the gas pedal as well.
There's a lot of people clicking Providence in the poll. So I'm thinking maybe people don't realize that Hopkins is out. I think that might be the case.
It was very it's like underreported.
Well, college sports injuries as a whole are underreported. Yeah. So I'm on Creighton too. I'm with you guys. Creighton paid me out big the other night. I bet them against Georgetown. So I'm going to go back with the Jays here because they had this exact same.
I was just gonna say you're gonna say the same type of game, Sauce, where it took them a little bit, and then once that like 12 minutes mark hits in the second half, they'll just keep on 12, 15, 17 type of thing.
Oh, I like Creighton. This line opened up at 10. It's up to 11.5. Providence is a public dog. Yeah, this is the spot I like to hammer. This looks like a sharp favorite here. So yeah,
the weirdness of college basketball lines, and maybe it tells a lot about the Hopkins injury. This was, I believe, it was like what 12.5 against Georgetown. I think the line was. I had that line. It was. I looked at it. I was like, "There's no way they're not beating."
I think I got it at 12.
Yeah, so like you're telling me just the home court advantage in general took away like that much? No, this is the line against Creighton, against Providence and Georgetown. I don't.
Yeah, I'm definitely betting it. What time is this game?
VIP ticket at -10.
This is a 2 p.m. game. Yeah, I'm definitely betting this one. All right, next. Oh, well, just one game left on the docket here. 1 second. Let me get it up. And let's see what – I don't even know what it's going to be. I have Game 18 graphics loading now, and it is the Buffs. It's the Buffs, Colorado, Arizona State. All right, so this line, Arizona State catching 3 at home. Toast took a shot. Or you know what? I think it was just a lean with Colorado.
No, it wasn't a shot.
It was just a lean for the show?
I leaned Colorado. I was going to say, I thought you were talking about my big win with Bobby fucking Hurley and the Sun Devils the other night, baby. Woo!
Yeah, that was sick.
That was a good bet.
I think we were all on that too. Like as a show, we collectively took the dog and won.
Yeah.
All right. So Colorado -3, Arizona State +3 at home. Totals at 145.5. Last game that I have lined up graphics wise. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I lean Arizona State. I haven't bet this one personally yet. I do think that it's kind of weird that they are. I thought this would be a little bit larger, but I would assume that KJ Simpson is probably not going to play again for Colorado. Quick turnaround for Arizona State after playing that Utah game, only 2 days. I guess Colorado only played 2 days as well.
They played the same game.
Yeah. Sorry. They
wait. Colorado had to travel though.
It's just really hard for me to get behind Colorado. I think that they are better. I leaned them against Arizona. I didn't play it because of the injuries, and they ended up losing by like 37. I don't think they are that bad of a team. I do think that Arizona State is a pretty decent team, but at the same time, you really don't know what you're going to get from them. You saw them lose 3 in a row to San Diego, TCU, and Northwestern, and then come back and win 3 in a row against Stanford, California, and Utah. So they're 3-0 in conference play. Obviously, that helps. But, I just felt that this line was kind of fishy to me. I lean Arizona State, though.
Andy?
Yeah, I'm with him there. I think he's right. They're like Seton Hall. You never know what you're going to get in a given game, like Florida Atlantic and Seton Hall. Like, they could be really good, or they could, like, you're pounding your head against the wall because you just don't know with a Bobby Hurley team. But Colorado, they got, like you said, injuries. They're coming off getting punched in the mouth. It was very tough for them. They were coming in with momentum into Pac-12 play, and now, I mean, they went into was that game in Colorado? I don't remember. Was it in Colorado?
No, it was in Arizona. That's why right after
so they might have. I'm thinking they went from Tucson right to Tempe.
No, I know. Because when I said
I don't know.
Right after I said, they had to travel, I was like, wait a second. They traveled from Arizona State. What is that? A 45-minute bus? Like
might be, yeah. But yeah, I think Arizona State covers at least. I think they probably win the game. It's a pretty close line there. So
I will say that Arizona State has played they played a top 40 schedule in the country. I mean, they have some they have BYU. They lost to BYU. I mean, they have a decent schedule. But
I'm putting Arizona State up for me too. Judging by what you guys say, what you'd be looking for here to bet Colorado is a flat spot for Arizona State coming off the big upset win. And I don't know. I think you can equally make the argument that it'd be a flat spot for Colorado too, coming off a really embarrassing loss. I don't know. Arizona +3, State +3. I'm just tailing these guys. Our polls on Colorado though, 56%, 55% said they would lay the 3 with Colorado. 38% said you would take the 3 with Arizona State. That's the last bit of graphics I have queued up. Yeah. Do we want to do a community parlay or something?
If John Rothstein tweets out that Colorado has their guys, they'd probably be worth a play. So I've been on the live, so I haven't seen it if they have. But yeah, so
let's do a community parlay. Let's see what we're gonna do. So
Yeah.
I'm going to look at the early games, and we'll do like one from each time slot. So first up, Seton Hall, Clemson, Marquette. They like Marquette money line. North Carolina, Clemson. They like North Carolina money line. What other game do we do
For all you mid-major geeks, Charleston, Hofstra, moneyline parlay. Just remember that.
Charleston,
Hofstra, moneyline parlay. Both those teams win today.
Played each other the other day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Charleston
and if you
won.
really want to get super deep into it, Ball State, Penn, Rice, all money lines.
Jeez.
So the first leg of the community parlay is up to vote on. I just did the early slate of games, the games we talked about. So your options are North Carolina money line, Kentucky money line, Marquette money line, or Missouri money line.
Is there like a Twitter account you follow that sends you injuries, Toast? Because I've been using RotoWire. I don't know if you use that one.
I use Jordan Majeski, who he's like a writer. He used to work for Action and stuff, but that's all he does is like tweet injuries and stuff like that. Just DM me and I'll send you his thing. He's really good. Okay. That's all he does. But you know how like you can do lists on Twitter. He has lists for every single conference and like all their beat writers. So if you don't know, you can just click on that list, find the conference, and then you should be able to find whatever information you need.
Yeah, definitely need that.
It looks like North Carolina is going to win the first leg of this community parlay. So, yeah, the first leg is a dog, though, which is cool. North Carolina money line. Let's go to leg number 2, and let me open up the schedule here. Can one of you guys open up a sports book?
I'm doing it. I got FanDuel opened up there.
All right, cool. So North Carolina is the first. All right, let's see. So we got Kansas money line. No, they voted TCU. Oh, no. Kansas money line won the poll, but there was a lot of people that liked TCU.
Yeah.
Creighton. No, Providence won the poll. We'll put Providence money line on there. Good Lord. Auburn, Arkansas. Auburn won that poll, right? Yep.
Yeah.
And Virginia, NC State. Who won that poll? I think Virginia.
I think Virginia.
All right. Good Lord. Imagine Providence as an 11-point dog. The money line gets in this thing.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a Kansas blowout.
Yeah, I would think so.
People are actually clicking Providence, though. Like psychotically clicking Providence. That's an 11-point dog on the road. But yeah, I could pretty much cut this poll off now. It's Kansas by a mile. So next one is North Carolina money line, Kansas money line. Next up, let's move on to like the afternoon games. We didn't talk about Nebraska, Baylor, Oklahoma State. What was the deal? Everyone liked Baylor.
Yeah,
everyone liked Baylor
Baylor.
except Toast, and I tailed Toast. All right.
USC, Stanford. You could do.
Who won that poll? Stanford won it. Yep.
Yeah.
Stanford money line. Let's see. Need 2 more. Tennessee, Ole Miss. Why didn't we do that one?
I didn't see it on any lists, but I would think. I mean, I was heavy on Tennessee. I don't like Ole Miss this year. So.
Every single team in the country plays today. It's
I think something was going to Duke Notre Dame. We were going to have to leave games out for sure.
That's why, like on the VIP, like I didn't do any write-ups because I could if I'm going to do write-ups for every game, then I'm not going to be able to get any picks.
Yeah, I think people are cool with that. I would say
it's the only day I don't do it.
I would say, like write-ups for your top 2 or 3 bets. Because but as far as on a day like this, I don't think people are expecting you to give out fucking 30 write-ups.
Not to mention we have this. There's freaking NFL, NBA.
Yeah.
It's a crazy day in the world of sports betting. Fun day though, really fun day.
Scoop says San Diego State money line and West Virginia covers the 22.
I agree with West Virginia. Absolutely.
Baylor money line, and now
everybody in the world's going to be betting Houston.
So now we got Marquette money line. Providence money line did get second place, so it has another chance. Good Lord, don't vet that. Don't vote that. And the last leg of the community. So right now we have North Carolina money line, Kansas money line, Baylor money line, and the last leg coming momentarily.
I'm going to follow 3 of these. So let's see. UNC.
It looks like it's going to be Marquette by a landslide.
Oh, I can't add that shit.
Oh shit, Toast! You have to do it. We can't bet that game in New
Yeah, I
Jersey.
can't add that.
Okay, it's coming. Hold on, I got it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely Marquette. Definitely Marquette.
I think that law. I think we voted. I think it was voted against already to like change it. But I
So
think it should just
stupid.
be games that take place in New Jersey. Like if you're gonna do it like that.
Why?
Which this one
Why
is not
even
a-
that? Who cares?
No, I don't know why it's a thing. But if you're gonna do it, why can't I bet Seton Hall when they're playing a game and like they played a game earlier in the year against USC in San Diego? Like why can't I bet them? They're in.
The
they're in
rule doesn't make
California.
sense, even
It
if
makes
they're
no
playing in New
sense.
Jersey or not. Toast odds.
It's coming. Just 1 second. I had to type it all into action, so just give it 1 second. 450 Kansas. Parlay that 490. 440 on FanDuel. Sorry, 440.
440. So the community parlay: North Carolina money line, Kansas money line, Baylor money line, Marquette money line for plus 440. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back. I think we're going to do a college basketball show Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I think that's the plan because Wednesday and Friday we have to prioritize NBA. But I
Not
hope
to mention those are bad days for
and they're
basketball
bad days for college basketball. So I think rather than trying to do an NBA show and a college basketball show every single day, we'll pick the stronger days. But yeah, we'll be live tomorrow morning. Us three and Prop Beaver. That asshole will be with us as well.
As long as he shows up.
Yeah, as long as he
Like
shows
it's
up.
Darren.
Everyone, have a great day. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll be in the Discord in a little bit. Just want to take a shower and get myself together here. I'll be in the Discord a little later this afternoon. Lay it up.